Does your makeup always end up looking patchy? Do you always end up with harsh foundation lines or patchy concealer? If yes, then you're probably making some common beginner mistakes. If your makeup never looks smooth, it is probably not your product, it is your blending. In this video, I'll be showing you the easiest blending techniques as a beginner and some mistakes you have to avoid when doing your makeup as a dark skin girl. Even if you've not touched a brush before, don't worry. I'll be showing you how to blend like a pro and to maintain that melanin look even with makeup. The first thing you need to do is to clean your skin. You can't apply makeup on a dirty canvas. You need to make sure your face is clean. I've done mine, and the next thing we are going to be moving to is moisturizer. The moisturizer I'm going to be using today is the Metics Moisture Balm. You can use the moisturizer you use for your daily skincare routine or any other moisturizer. This moisturizer is water-based and can be used for all skin types. To apply, I make use of my hands. I first apply it on the areas that I know that they need much moisturizer, like my under eye. The under eye is one of the places that need moisturizer the most, so I like to focus my moisturizer on those areas first before the other areas of the face. I use my hand to blend. So you need to make sure you use a moisturizer and allow the moisturizer to sink into the skin. You can see the way I'm using my hand to gently massage my face. I'm trying to make sure the moisturizer gets to all corners of my face before I go in with my primer. And the more I blend with my hand, the more it dries quickly and the more it sinks into the skin. So make sure your moisturizer gets to all corners of your face before you move on to the next step. So now we move on to the primer, and the primer I'm going to be using is the Adventure Primer. You need a primer in your makeup kit because it will help you for longevity. You won't want a situation whereby you do your makeup and then 1 hour after the makeup and you're out, the makeup start breaking. No, you need to use a primer for longevity to enable the makeup last. Your primer, your setting spray are the things that will help your makeup last longer, so they are a must-have in your kit. For primer, I like to focus my primer on the T-zone areas. So I just blend with my hands. Take your time to blend perfectly. Also, do not rush in this process. Do not rush and move on to applying foundation immediately you apply your primer. No, the products are going to move and the makeup is not going to last. Blending is key to achieving a flawless makeup. Now we move on to foundation. Foundation is also an important tool you need to have in your makeup kit, and the foundation I'm going to be using today is the Silver Mark foundation. Foundation serves as a base for your makeup, so it is essential and important for you to use a foundation before you move on to the next step. So to apply foundation, do not just go on and press it on your skin like this. This is what most beginners do, and they end up using too much product. This product is enough for the whole face. Do not do this. No, what you should do instead is to put the product on the back of your hand, then you use your brush to pick it up from the back of your hand to your face. To blend foundation, you can either make use of a brush or a beauty blender. I'm going to be making use of both tools to show you how both tools work and how you should blend with both tools. All you just have to do is to dab. When applying your foundation, just dab. Do not rush and do not swipe. Do not drag. What most beginners like to do is this is what they do. No, do not do this. What you should do instead is to tap. Just tap your foundation on the face. Do not drag. Most times the problem is not the product. The problem is the techniques you use in applying the product. You don't need to use too much force and you don't need to swipe. You don't need to drag, because when you drag, you're going to be moving the skin prep you've done underneath the foundation, so you shouldn't drag. Just dab. For those of you that like to use a beauty blender to apply foundation, most beginners like to press the foundation on the beauty blender. No, do not do this, because you are going to end up using too much foundation and the beauty blender is even going to soak up your product. What you should do instead is to apply it on the back of your hand and then you dab. Take the product and then you dab on your skin. Remember, less is more in makeup application. So this is how you should apply with a beauty blender, and make sure you blend to your jawline So you can see how both tools work. Whichever one you like to use, make sure you apply these techniques and you're going to achieve the same results. Now we are going to move on to blush. How do you apply your blush, and where is blush applied? Blush is applied on the cheekbone. Yeah, on the cheekbone. This is where you apply your blush. If you find it hard locating your cheekbone, just smile. This is where you apply your blush. And the blush I'm going to be using today is the Cindy's Lip and Cheek Palette. This is a blush palette and also a lipstick palette. So I'm going to be using this shade right here for my blush application. And to apply, I'm going to be using a beauty blender. Most beginners make the mistake of using this place. This is where I use to apply the foundation. So I can't use this place because I still need this place to apply my concealer. So I can't use this place to apply my blush. So where should I use? I'm going to be using the bottom of the beauty blender to apply my blush. Less is more. Do not take too much. Just dab. You can see I didn't drag, I didn't apply force, I just dab, and you are going to get a nice result. So this is how you should apply your blush. You can see these are easy techniques that you can follow as a beginner. If you should follow these techniques, I guarantee you are going to achieve a nice result. Now we are going to be moving on to the next step, which is concealer. After applying your blush, the next thing you should do is to apply your concealer. What is concealer used for? Concealer is used to brighten up some parts of the face to bring back highlights to the face. And where should you apply your concealer? Underneath the eye, the bridge of the nose, the cupid bone, the chin, and the forehead. The concealer I'm going to be using today is the Adventure Concealer, and I'm going to be using the color 7 for my concealer. As a dark skin girl, the shade of concealer you use will depend on the kind of look you want to achieve or the kind of look you are going for that particular day. I want something simple and natural, you know, simple girl. So how should you apply your concealer and what tools should you use? To apply your concealer, you can either make use of a brush or a beauty blender, but I'm going to advise you as a beginner, use a beauty blender. Number 1, a beauty blender is fast, and number 2, for concealer that dry quickly, you won't want to use a brush. You want to use a beauty blender. So most beginners make the mistakes of applying their concealer like this. No, do not do this. This is how you should apply your concealer. Just a little bit here and a little bit at the end of the under eye. This is how you should apply your concealer. To blend your concealer, use your beauty blender and then pinch it so that you'll be able to use this place to blend the concealer. Just dab, do not drag. After you blend everything out, this is what you should get for your under eye. For me, I do not like to apply concealer on my forehead, and as a dark skin girl, I'm going to advise you to do that because applying too much concealer on your forehead or too much bright colors on your forehead is going to make everything look different from your neck. The goal is to achieve something that blends with your body, not something different. So after applying your concealer, the next thing you should apply is your powder. We are done with all the liquids. Now it is time to set everything in place with our powder. So what are the tools you should use in applying your powder? You should use a brush and a powder puff. The powder puff will be used to apply powder on the highlighted areas. This is how you should apply your powder. Just dab. Do not go in with too much. Do not pack too much powder. So for the rest of the face, I'm going to be using my brush. This is the mistake most beginners make. No, do not do that. Yes, this is what you should do. Just dab. So this is how you should apply your powder. You can see the way everything looks smooth, well blended and even. So this is what you should do when you apply these steps and these techniques. You are going to get these results. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to apply my dry blush. Remember, the blush we applied earlier was the liquid blush. Now we are going to be applying the dry blush in order to further intensify the blush. So the blush I'm going to be using today is the CPD blush. To apply your blush, you should use a fluffy brush like this. So you apply it on the cheekbone and you blend in circles so that it is not just going to stay in one place. You can see the way I'm blending in circles. Now we are going to be moving on to eyeshadow, and for eyeshadow you can either use a eyeshadow primer or a concealer as your base. So I'm going to be using the concealer I used earlier to highlight my face as my base. Then you blend with a beauty blender. So the eyeshadow I'm going to be using today is the V Beauty eyeshadow. So I'm going to be using this shade right here as my transition color. This is the type of brush I'm using. A small and fluffy brush. Start from the outer corner of the eye and blend in circles, small circles. When you first take your product, do not just go in. Do not go to the inner corner of the eye and then apply. No. Start from the outer corner of the eye. So when you've applied the product on the outer corner of the eye, you are going to move your way through to the inner corner of the eye. That is, you are spreading the product and blending it in circular motions. So the palette I'm going to be using for the shimmer is the Blossom eyeshadow palette. This palette has a lot of shimmery shades. You can see. I'm going to be using this shade right here. So now I'm going to apply my gel liner, and the gel liner I'm going to be using today is the Carrot gel liner. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to set everything in place. You need to use your setting spray for longevity. The setting spray I'm going to be using today is the Nia Beauty Spray. Most beginners make this mistake of spraying close to their face like this. No, you shouldn't do that. What you should do is to bring the spray 3 centimeters away from your face. So when you want to spray, only the mist of the spray is to touch your face. You don't have to bring it close to your face like this and then spray. No. That is how you should spray. The next thing we are going to be doing is the lipstick, and the lipstick I'm going to be using today is the Posh and Sassy lip palette. So I'm going to be using this dark shade right here. For the main color of the lips, I'm going to be using the mixture of these 2 shades. Blend the brown shade into the pink shade. Do not just leave the 2 standing there forming a line. No, blend the 2 shades together. And this is the finished look. Guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you learned something of value from the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the makeup. Let me know if you want to see the brow tutorial of this look, and I'll definitely post it. Let me know in the comment section. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe, and also send my videos to your friends. Share it to your friends, please. I'm begging, please. Thank you so much. I love you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.